Here is what's popping off in the world of hip-hop. First we're going to get things rolling on somewhat of a sad note, man. Rapper King Von was killed outside of an Atlanta nightclub early Friday morning. I'm sure at this point you've heard about it. If you don't know who King Von was, man, he was an up-and-coming dude, man. He had a whole bunch of records that was on the bubble, really tight with Lil Durk, Asian the Brat was his girlfriend, and this dude was really making his wave. So apparently there was a shootout that broke outside the Monica Hookah Lounge in downtown Atlanta. Gunfire got exchanged between two groups of men after an argument. Now, the original reports were saying that a police officer was involved in the shooting, but that turned out to be false. Now, two off-duty police officers who worked at the club, they tried to intervene during the shooting, but they weren't injured. Now, 6 people were shot in total, including 3 who remained at the scene and were transported to the hospital by EMS. 3 other people fled the scene, but also ended up at the hospital. Now, I don't know if you guys got a chance to see the video, but fight spilled out of the club. These 2 guys were fighting in the street. Then all of a sudden, this other dude who was involved in a melee, he was laying down and he got up and he shot, hitting Vaughn, born Davon Bennett, and he didn't die on the scene, but I guess he died at the hospital. And Durk reacted to the news because they were super duper tight. He wrote on Instagram, "My twin gone. I love you, baby, bro." And the sad part was Durk actually found out about the shooting on IG Live. Like, he was in the middle of doing something else. You could just see his whole body language change as the dialogue was flowing into the screen, man. It was terrible, and it's just another case of, people should have talked their situation out, man. This didn't have to, escalate to this point. But there is a man who has been arrested, in charge of the shooting. His name is Timothy Leaks. He's 22 years old, and he was also hospitalized due to a gunshot wound. He's now facing a charge of felony murder. So we'll keep you abreast of what's going on. Our prayers and condolences go to everybody that was involved in the situation, too. So, it goes on and on, man. A vicious cycle of violence, man. We got to chill. Moving on in, intellectual violence news, let's talk about Dr. Dre and his wife. So, apparently, part of this reason why she wants a divorce is because apparently Dr. Dre was, making house calls, if you know what I mean. And his wife, Nicole Young, wants to know if he fathered any children that she doesn't know about. Now, she filed legal documents asking Dre to hand over any paperwork relating to any paternity actions he may have been involved in during their 24-year marriage. Now, it hasn't been confirmed that if Dre has outside children or not. But he hasn't been involved in any paternity suits in the last 24 years, so maybe it's just like another reach just to try to give her another upper hand on how to get some of that money. But
I don't know, child. Supposedly she cool with 3 of the mistresses and she bringing them all to court.
Now, I saw that too, but mistresses is one thing, having an actual offspring is another thing.
Cheating is cheating now. That's against your vows and your what'd you call it?
I think vows. Yeah, vows. I mean, cheating is cheating, but a baby is a human bookmark. So you gotta you gotta be careful out there in these streets. And Dr. Dre genes strong. All his kids look like him. Last but not least, let's talk about the baby. Now, his older brother, committed suicide. We know about that. We talked about it. And now the baby has deleted his Instagram. I guess, even sometimes, when you're going through something, people saying even get well or, we're riding for you. Sometimes it's a little too much. So. He deleted his Instagram for the time being, but I'm sure the baby will be back because he drops an album every 6 months, and you got to promote it somehow, right? So we'll see what's happening on that, man. So anyway, that's it. Promise the next hip-hop spot will be a lot more upbeat, but rest in peace, King Von, and everybody involved in that situation, and keep it in your pants, Doc. For this and other stories, I'm following Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud, HEADKRACK.
We are the Morning Hustle.